Leta the microphone.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Welcome to today's press conference at the Campaign Command Center. As you all know, a lot has happened in the last 7 days, leaving everyone wondering what the Joseph Mayanja Lord Mayoral campaign has to say about it all. Everyone can remember that Comrade Latif Sebagala, his brother Nasa Ntege Sebagala, and our own Jose Mayanja expressed interest to vie for the MUWE ticket within the wider people power framework. We were told that we would go through a 3-stage process of candidate selection. Stage 1, expression of interest, where as you express interest, you are supposed to attach all your credentials on that particular form. And once accepted, then out of the many, out of the thousands, you become one of the aspiring candidates for the party ticket. 2, was supposed to be the harmonization process, widely publicized. And in the harmonization process, it was like Mwesunsula. It was like the candidates now help the general membership and leadership of MUWE and the general public to sort out one. If not, eliminate as many as possible and remain with a few options. Stage 2, should there remain more than one candidate, you go to stage 3, which now meant you go for vetting. And in the vetting process, as we were informed, the candidates were all to be separated to get one by a well pre-publicized criteria, which among other things focused on the candidate's leadership credentials and the winnability factors. 2, the candidate's leadership within the constituency or the electoral area that is vying to become candidate. And then 3, his commitment to the struggle, to the people power and the MUWE struggle, and therefore support to the MUWE presidential candidate as well as other candidates on the agenda. These were very clear stages that we were supposed to follow, and we were happy to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know that we went through all the first and the third stages. Why third? The second stage was, in the case of mayoral candidates, was done before the third. The third stage was done before the second. When we went for vetting, like everyone will know, we finished the process, but on the 18th Sunday morning, the NUP National Electoral Management Committee declared Comrade Alhaj Honorable Latif Sebagala as their successful candidate from the vetting process. That shocked us, and this is our reaction. One, this announcement was made in error, and it came as a shock to our campaign and the whole country. We can confirm that on the 18th day, Honorable Latif Sebagala, in a strongly worded letter, withdrew from the mayoral race. This left us alone in the race and thus unopposed. We were thus surprised to learn from the social media that a ticket had been given to a candidate that had ceased to exist. Following that development, we immediately wrote a reminder to the NUP Election Management Committee, National Election Management Committee, informing them of the lapse to which we have not received, a response. We were therefore surprised by the statements further made on TV by Honorable Walukamba Masi, the chairperson of the NUP, National Election Management Committee, insinuating that the non-successful candidate was not qualified and therefore they were destined to look for new or other alternatives. If this is not sheer sabotage, advertently or inadvertently, it raises more questions regarding the transparency and credibility of the committee and the entire process. No wonder that after only 48 hours, did the Honorable Latif Sebagala did the right thing to again publicly collapse his widely questioned candidature. And we want to congratulate him for that. We also want to address ourselves to the many questions regarding the vetting process, the scorecard that was maliciously leaked to the public. Members of the press, we specifically want to focus ourselves on the scorecard and the comments that were made in regard to our candidate's religion, vis-a-vis that of Comrade Honorable Latif Sebagala. These were very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate, I want to say, for one on behalf of our campaign. We find it terribly absurd. And this terrible absurdity cannot be allowed to stand on record, on the record of our party, NUP, that for somebody to qualify for Lord Mayorship, they must be of a certain religion. Our campaign will never allow this to happen, or even to stand under our watch. And there can never be any compromise on such a kind of institutional and public discrimination. We want to thank the public and institutions like the Christian Coalition for leadership, who have gone on record to reject the same. We also call upon other authorities and institutions to follow suit. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, there were a number of lapses in that scorecard, but we particularly focus on that one because it is not only absurd, not only a terrible absurdity, but because it is out of date in this modern epoch. This is the letter that our friends in the Christian Coalition for Leadership wrote on the 22nd September 2020, and I read it. Their attention was drawn to a comprehensive assessment report of the NUP Electoral Commission used as a basis for selection of candidates for the position of Lord Mayor of Kampala City. They were shocked that despite the years of political progress, the nation seems to be back where it began, with the ugly head of sectarianism and religious bigotry rearing itself high again. That's 50 years ago. They observed that this was in the past a practice of the old parties, and one would expect a new formation as NUP to espouse universal democratic practices. The Constitution of the Republic of Uganda indeed protects every citizen's fundamental human rights and freedoms, especially Article 21 that provides for equality and freedom from discrimination, stating that all persons are equal before the law and in all spheres of political, economic, and cultural lives. To say that no person shall be discriminated against on the grounds of sex, race, color, ethnic origin, tribe, birth, creed or religion, social or economic standing, political opinion, or disability. The article further persons attributable only or mainly to their respective descriptions by sex, color, ethnic origin, tribe, birth, creed, or religion. They say, for my party, that is NUP, Electoral Commission, to conclude that a member of the Catholic faith is not favored to be Lord Mayor of Kampala is illegal, unconstitutional, and contrary to the rule of law. It is also clear to them that Joseph Mayanja was discriminated by my party's Electoral Commission because of his faith, and this has no place in modern Uganda. In the minority in Kampala have had more than their share of the position of Lord Mayor at the moment, and that Kampala needs a Christian mayor now, according to them. The last population census indicates a population of 1.5 million, of which 41% are Catholics, 37% are Pentecostals and Protestants, and 17% Muslims. There is no rationale, therefore, according to them, for the conclusion that one professing the Catholic faith can't be favored by the demographics in Kampala. They expect the Honorable President, our President, my President, and the top echelons of MUWE to denounce sectarianism and religious bigotry creeping within the ranks of MUWE. It will say that everything that has gone on in the processes of candidate selection within MUWE has not been good. We appreciate the vetting processes that took place by the different panels regarding the local council, local councillors. The only problem we need to address is that the transmission of results and the managing of those results should have brought exactly what was done at the different levels regarding our councillors, including the councillors for LC5, because we're keenly interested in these councillors too, as a leadership which seeks to bring solutions rather than cry over our problems. Thank you.
A copy of this scorecard that really has the allegations of religious discrimination, like you stated.
I'll start with that one. Of recent, personally, as Samuel Walter Mukaku, I've held press conferences regarding messages, fake information put outside there by what we call social media terrorists. And I think as mainstream media, I wouldn't expect any of you just work on this fake information, because you must always find out what was the source of this. If it is information about Samuel Walter Mukaku, you contact him. Those are basics in media, the media business. You contact him, you contact the authority, that is Jose Mayanja campaign, Lord Mayoral campaign. And I want to inform you here and now that that poster is not our poster. That poster was not put in the social media by our own. It was put there by what we call social media terrorists working for other interests. And in any case, then why this press conference? If actually we had chosen to go for the ANT card, we have not engaged ourselves with the ANT party. You can consult them if you want. Neither have we talked about the subject in passing or directly. So where does this one come from? So we want to assure you, we want to tell you, this is fake, like one of you is putting it. This is actually fake, as it is. It is fake. 110%, it is fake. But of course, given what is happening and the way people are maliciously leaking information to the public, you can now understand the innuendos and the drama behind depicting Jose Mayanja as not an NUP candidate. My friend wants to add on something.
As I can tell you that if this is the picture they used, we phased it out 2 weeks ago. This is no longer the official portrait of Joseph Mayanja. And all the persons who have interacted with him know that for the last 2 weeks, we have been using a different portrait. So there could not have been a coincidence that a portrait we phased out 2 weeks ago can resurface a day or 2 days yesterday.
It influenced insinuations in the social media. It has been done on Honorable Mabike because he's a member of this campaign team. You all know it has been done on me and any other person. But I think that chapter we're about to put it behind ourselves and go with what is actually real. Personally, I'm an aspiring member of Parliament for Lubaga South. Colleagues are also aspiring members of Parliament and aspiring councillors. None of us in NUP was given a chance to see what we scored in the vetting process. I have not seen it myself, and I'm an aspiring member of Parliament. I don't think a Lord Mayor or member of Parliament should have. And out of the many Lord Mayors, that he's the one who was given this. But that is exactly where our question is, $1 million question. What was the intention of leaking that particular vetting scorecard to the public? What was the intention if it were not sabotage? But again, you can see our mayor, one of the aspects, on the manifesto, Mr. Solutions got 9 out of 10, while the rest did not even manage 5 or 6 out of 10.
Popularity.
Then when you go to popularity, the score was amazing. It was interesting. It was interesting that the man with a brand name, with a fan base that surpasses any other politician and artist could only get 3 out of 10, while the fellow competitor got 8 out of 10. It baffles every mind. When we go to, I think I made a small record of mine. When we got name-first recognition, that Jose could only score 3 out of 10, while Comrade Latif was scoring 8. Can you believe this? Can we believe this? Take it to anybody. On any village, whether Chinyoro, whether whatever, whether at the city hall, even outside Kampala, can we believe that the name Jose Mayanja Chameleon could only score 3 out of 10 face name recognition, and that Comrade Latif could score 8%? You can go on and on, whether it is internal, what was it? Internal, and all this, international exposure. And you say that Jose scored 6, while Comrade Latif, because, and they gave the comment, because he's only known as East Africa. And then Comrade Latif scored 8 because he's known in the Middle East. This is funny. I can't believe this speaks for my part. I think somebody must play around with the facts. And I can't attribute this to the main leadership, the national leadership of the Electoral Commission and of NUP to have done this. Somebody must have played with this. So, in our view, this needs to be redressed. But most importantly, that now that Comrade Latif did collapse his candidature for NUP ticket again, we need to put this at the back and go with exactly what it was during expression of interest, during vetting, and with what Comrade Latif has done, and automatically declare Comrade Mayanja Joseph Chameleon as the Lord Mayor candidate for the National Unity Party, and therefore for the People Power Fraternity. People, some few individuals probably have been seeing people power, our power, but they didn't know the meaning. Let me tell you, as one of those, the originators of this idea, and as one of those who have traveled all the valleys and hills of the people power, together with my colleagues. People power must expressly be people power. And that is the power of the people. But people what they walk again. But of course, here and now I must express that we as candidates appreciate the qualitative process that was put in place, not the quantitative one. For reasons that a few occasions when they try to go out to get a quantitative one, the troops, paramilitary police, and others armed with tear gas and guns and bullets were everywhere to stop the process. We also know that under COVID, it was never going to be, because we tried it, not only NUP, but also other parties. We also know that there were problems because the party is still new, it's still young. So we all accepted the qualitative one. But even when you handle the qualitative process, you must let the people speak as it was declared, publicly declared to all of us candidates and to the general public. Our questions are about, one, as you asked, were you given the record straight away that this is how you scored? Two, our question is about mishandling the results of the voting process, the vetting process, and also the transmission. Our questions are also about the twice collapsed candidature of one of our own, which leaves us alone on the record that we are the ones that must take the ticket for MUWE and therefore for people power. That's where our question is. Your questions are not very relevant here. Why? Number one, he talks about the pass mark. You as the press, you know the pass mark? What do you know what the pass mark was? Number two, what happens, for example, in many cases where a candidate, one of the vying candidates, dies or pulls out?
Remains unopposed.
What is the common practice here in Uganda? Constitutionally provided for. Number three, we have informed you that with the developments that happened, we gave a reminder. This is not a petition. It was a reminder of the simple facts, very simple facts. A candidate had collapsed his candidature in the open after the vetting, not before the vetting, but after the vetting, with a very strongly worded statement. It is in the public domain and it is in the hands of the MUWE leadership. But again, he has also done so.
Okay.
We don't need to make an appeal. We don't need to make whatever you want. It's just a simple, normal administrative procedure that they ought to do as Electoral Commission. If they don't do it, the National Executive Board of MUWE should do the needful. Let me read the chairperson, National Electoral Commission of the National Unity Platform. We write to bring to your attention an error on record on a MUWE candidate for the position of Lord Mayor, Kampala City. And this was written on the 20th of September. September 2021, your record indicates that that is Jose, by the fact my fellow competitor, Honorable Alhaji Latif Sevagala, had we in a letter already in the possession of NUP leadership and in the public domain. He writes, I am an opposed MUWE candidate for the position of Lord Mayor, Kampala City. Kindly rectify the error in your record of candidates. Yours sincerely, Joseph Mayanja, the MUWE candidate, Lord Mayor, Kampala. It was the 22nd that one of the candidates that was vetted and had been adopted as according to them, just collapsed his candidature. So, I think we would even be celebrating now for having nicked the MUWE ticket in a very, very straightforward way. Basebo ne banyero tusanyisa okuba nammwe bannamawulire wamu ebintu bingi ebigamba ku omusanvu oguyisi n'ensi wano mu Kampala n'ebule n'ebweya wamu n'ebulaaya n'emitala w'amayanja nga buli omu yeebuuza kiki kampeyini ya Joseph Mayanja Lord Mayor kyegamba ku nsonga zino zonna zetuwulira. Bino wammanga by'ebituufu nti ekituufu kiri nti mu biseera ebitali byewala mwenna mwakimanya nti Mwami Latif Sebagala Alhaji Nasantege Sebagala muganda we naffe bakamwakoogera tutegeeza Mwami Mayanja Yosefu gwe mwakazaako erya Chameleon twagenda ekamwoca okutwalayo empapula zaffe ez'okulaga okweyagaliza ekifo ky'obwa Lord Mayor nga amateeka ga NUP bwe gatulagira. Ekyomukisa omulungi tewaliwo candidate wakuna wakutaano oba wa mukaaga yasobola kutwegattako. Twalindira stage ey'okubiri nga stage zino bwe zalangirirwa akakiiko k'ebyokulonda nange Samuel Walter Mukaku kwe nali okubanga ebintu bino so mbyogeranga n'okubimanya mbikola ki mbimanyi. Akakiiko kazze katutegeeza bulungi nti osooka ne weesunsula ng'oyita mu process ey'okutwala y'empapulezi gwe nga candidate. Abeesunsula ku nsonga zino baali basatu era baawaayo n'ebiwandiiko byabwe ebitegeeza nti bali qualified oba basaanidde ekifo ky'obwa Lord Mayor. Ekyokubiri olina okuyitibwa singa balaba nti osaanidde ku stage ey'okubiri ogendayo ng'omaze kusaanira. Stage ey'okubiri gye tuyita ey'okwesunsula, harmonization, okufuna consensus kumwe nammwe nga mwetunuddemu muyambe ekibiina kya NUP ne revolution okulaba nti mwerondako omuntu omu. After all kasamuba ne qualifications ezo mwenna omukumu asobola okuba komanda w'olutabaalo. Ako omuntu omu ali Haji Nasa Ntege Sebagala. Era twategeezebwa ku olwo nti vetting process yennyini tennaba na kuggwaayo ejja kulindamu ennaku olw'okubeera nti ali Haji Nasa Ntege Sebagala kyali kizuuliddwa era nga yategeezezza nti mulwadde bamuweemu akadde asuuke bwe kiba kisoboka ng'obudde bwa Electoral Commission bukyakola ki bukyaliwo vetting eryoke eggweeyo. Naye ekyatwewuunyisa nga wakayita essaawa tezinnawera 48 ne tulengera ka leak oba communication ku social media nga ewandiikiddwa authoritatively n'omu ku bamemba ba National Election Management Committee nti bano be bameeya ono ye Lord Mayor alondeddwa ne ba councillors abalondeddwa mu bifo byabwe oluvannyuma lwa vetting process. Era mu nsonga eno ekiwandiiko ekyo kyategeeza bulungi ensi nti yali alondeddwa ku bwa Lord Mayor ye yali omukulu Lord Mayor omukulu Honorable Latif Sebagala Sengendo anga si balala abaali beesimbyewo. Twakitunuulira ensi yawaawaala amatu. Kampala yawuniikirira. Kampeyini eno yafuna shock. Naye ekirungi Lord Mayor waffe omwami Jose Mayanja teyatiirira nsonga yakwata epeeni n'awandiikira abakulu aba NUP Electoral Commission ebbaluwa enfunda okubajjukiza ebyali bibaddewo okuva vetting process bwe yaliwo. Mu ebyo ekyali ekikulu eky'okubajjukiza ye bbaluwa Honorable Latif Sebagala Sengendo gye yali awandiise nga bavudde ku vetting process nti nze sikyayimiridde ku bwa Lord Mayor bwa Kampala wabula ngenda kunoonya ekifo probably ng'ekyayiyala nsobole okugenda ku ekyo kino kankirekere bannange abalala. Ebbaluwa eyo lw'okuba yali eva mu mukono gwa mukulu Latif Sebagala era nga n'ebigambo byogeddwa ye ate ng'eri mu mikono gy'obukulembeze bw'ekibiina ne Electoral Commission ne public si kyekintu kye wali osobola okubuusa amaaso obutakijjukiza eyawandiika information eri ewakakiiko k'ebyokulonda nti wateekwa okuba nga waaliwo obunafu oba obutatunuulira ensonga eyo. Era twakitegeera tikyali kyetaagisa na kugamba mutuwe results za vetting mutuwe zino kuba ekyo kyokka kyali kimaze okulaga tiweetaaga kugenda mubiriwa mu birala. Ebbaluwa eno tubadde tukyalinda okuddibwamu ate Honorable Latif n'avaayo ku bigambo ebingi ebibadde byogerwa naddala bwe baafulumyawo mu bugenderevu naye ne tutamanya oba kyali kigenderedde kusala mu mimiro gya kampeyini eno oba kyali kigendereddemu ekigendero ekitali kirungi bwe bafulumya score card ya vetting ate nga bamaze okola communication egamba nti mwami Ssebaggala yalondeddwa. Score card yawuniikiriza ensi bwe yayogera ebintu byotalowooza era bye batatugambako nti banaabiconsideringa byotalowooza ku mulembe guno Uganda wetuuse n'ensi weekoze eki wetuuse. Gamba okulaga obusosoze ku madiini nti ekifo gundi tekisaanidde muntu bwati kisinga kusaanira muntu wa ddiini bweti. Saagala nakubisa venga campaign twagala nakubisa mukamu. Naye bw'ogamba nti Jose Chameleon omukatuliki ekyo kimubulobedde okufuna obubonero obumala n'afunayo busatu bwokka ng'omubuuzizza nti oli mukatuliki n'akugamba ndi mukatuliki n'omugamba gwawo ku byeddiini okusaanira ekifo kino ofunyeeko busatu naye ayogedde nti ndi musiraamu ye n'afunako 8 kiba kiwuniikiriza amatu. Kubanga ate nga bannaffe aba coalition Christian Coalition for Leadership n'ebibiina ebirala bwe bitandise okuvaayo mu buwandiike ne mukamwa nga byawuniikiridde baatulaze bannaffe ne bagamba nti ne bw'oba olowoozezza bw'otyo omuwendo gw'Abannakampala guli miliyoni 1.5 oguli mu bantu abakulu abakuba akalulu naye emiliyoni 1.5 ebitundu 41 ku buli 100 by'Abakatoliki bimanyiddwa mu National Census eyakabaawo. Ebitundu 3 mu 7 ku buli 100 by'abannaffe aba Church of Uganda ba Anglican ne ba Pentecostals. Ate ebitundu 17 ku buli 100 byo bimanyiddwa nti by'abannaffe abasiraamu. Kakati gwe bw'obanga omukatoliki omuwadde busatu ate baba twale 17 n'obawa 8 oba totegeereddwa bulungi ekigendererwa kyo bwe kiri. Twagala okwebaza Coalition for Leadership n'ebitongole ebirala bye twagala okugamba nti byebale n'ebirala ebitannaba biveeyo. Ffe aba kampeyini eno ekintu kye tutagenda kukkiriza mu kampeyini eno mu NUP mu People Power ne mu bibiina bya Uganda ne ebyobufuzi bya Kampala Uganda n'okutwala wonna tetugenda kukkiriza kuddamu ku mirembe egyayita emyaka 50 egiyise nga tulonda abantu okusinziira ku madiini gaabwe. Nzaali wano Samuel Walter Mukaku Lubega mbadde ku record ng'omuntu eyawagira Oweekitiibwa Haji Nassan Ntege Ssebaggala ne mwami Lubowa nga tuli basajja bato ate nga tetuli basiraamu n'abalala bangi abagwa mu kiti kyaffe. Mbadde ku record ng'eyakomyawo mwami Lukwago mu kisanja kino ekiwedde nga nze ndi mukatuliki mwami Lukwago musiraamu. Toyinza kuŋŋamba olwaleero mbadde ku record nga bwe nagenda ekyaddondo nga bwe nagenda ewa Mwiru omusajja atali mukatoliki nga bwe nagenda ewa Sumaani omusajja omusiraamu nga tuwagira abantu abatali ba ddiini yaffe oba abatali ba mawanga gaffe. Toyinza kuŋŋamba olwaleero mu NUP ekibiina ekigenda okununula eggwanga lino n'okomyawo ebyobufuzi ebyayita gwe ng'obikola ng'omuntu omu so nga tofunye na mandate ya leadership oba ba members aba NUP ne People Power n'obikola ku lulwo ng'omuntu n'ovulunga n'oleeta emivuyo mu kintu ekibadde kiteredde ate kiwagirwa ba people obulungi. Ajjukirwa nti mwami Ssebaana singa mukyajjukira ye meeya kyasinze okukolera amadiini ag'enjawulo ate yakolera nnyo abasiraamu n'okusinga bammeeya abasiraamu bennyini. Oyinza otya okuvaayo olwaleero n'ogamba nti olw'okuba oli wa ddiini bweti nti mukatuliki oyo tasaanidde bwa mmeeya bwa Kampala ate ono yasaanidde bwa mmeeya bwa Kampala. Ekyo tukivumiriranga kampeyini eno era twebaza ne munnaffe Latifu Ssebaggala eyalabye ebituli ebingi ebiri mu kulondebwakwe n'agamba nedda newandibadde ekifo nandikyagadde naye kangende ku kirala tusobole okuleka NUP ne People Power nga zigenda mu maaso n'olutalo lw'okununula eggwanga nga munnaffe omulala gwe bavetinga yafuuse Lord Mayor. Tulinda abakulembeze ba NUP ne Electoral Commission eyo okuvaayo okukuukubira bateeke record right. Kubanga kikulu ekisooka ffe tetuli wano kuddamu kino na kiri. Ffe kye tuli wano kwe kutereeza record n'okulaba nti ekibiina kyaffe kitambulira ku misingi egimanyiddwa okuwangula dictator n'obwannakyemalira mu ggwanga lino nga president waffe ye Kyagulanyi nga bacandidates baffe betulonze ku bifo ebyenjawulo be ba commanders ate nga ffenna tusimbye mu kisinde kimu. Mukulu Ssenyonyi bwe yamaze okwogera ekyo ze tuyita insinuations mu lunabuddu oba olunyanyimbi okuteekako obwebindu mu statement eyakoleddwa ku TV jo yayongedde okulaga nti kiri kikyatambula kigenda mu maaso. Munnamawulire wenna ali wano kinnyonnyole bulungi mu context yeyo. Bw'ogamba nti oli teyakwalifyinga oli yagira bw'ati ate nga tozzeemu kulaga nsi score card bwe yali newankubadde nga ne candidate endala ku babiri abavetingwa yakolapsinze ng'omanyi bulungi constitution kyegamba oyinza okuba nga oli offside nnyo ku nsonga ezo ate nebiri bye wabadde ogambye ne bikomawo okulebeetera mu bulago kubanga osigadde by'otutte nti byebyo.
Era tubale tuli mu struggle eno over 20 years tetuli bakazanyiikiriza. Mwami Ssenyonyi era njagala kumugamba muto wange nti ffe emyaka 25 gye tumaze mu byobufuzi mirungi nnyo okutegera ekigenda mu maaso. Bw'aba ayagala kutangaaza public scorecard entuufu efaanana etya agirage. Toleeta dokumenti nga temuli kantu n'ogamba nti eri ntuufu eno si ki ntuufu. Public ayagala kutegeera Mwami Joseph Mayanja Chameleon bamumakinze batya. Bw'oba owulira nti emaking eri si ntuufu leeta emaking entuufu ogiteeke ku public kubanga ffenna emitima gitwewunise. Mwami Chameleon Mwami Joseph Mayanja bamumakinze batya. Sebo nze nasoma naye buli gye nasomanga no petitioning nti bakumakinze bubi ng'olupapula balugjayo nga baleeta n'external examiner ng'aluddamu nga akongera max oba ng'azikola ki ng'azikendeeza. Njagala kubuuza nti ekyo kyabaddewo muganda wange. So ensonga ezo si za kubalaatiramu. These are not joking subjects. Tuli ku revolution. This is a revolution. Somebody is playing with a revolution. Tefujja kukkiriza. Tetukiriza muntu kuplayinga na revolution nga akola ebintu ng'asala ebintu mbuga bino si byenaremu byofuna opondo kuvaayo kugamba oba abino wa police atero kukyusa ebigambo enanga ate omusajja oyo esasiri eryamukubye ejjinja later evidence era ffe team Joseph Mayanja we are not jokers. Omuntu yenna yatulaba nga tuli ejjinja nga tuli Arua yantegere nti this is not a joking team. Era omuntu yenna ayagala okuleeta katemba mu tiimu eno tugenda kumuhandulinga nga bw'aleeta katemba we.
Ekyokubiri ensonga yabadde ekomyawo academic papers okuinsinuating ekyo nga ku expression of interest kwe twasooka nange naliyo ne tukakasa nti Mwami Joseph Mayanja yasoma era alina minimum qualifications. Sabo mpeko lwe lupapula lwa qualification A6 owulidde luno lwe lupapula olulala naye ogenda n'owulira ebintu. Of course this is not the time to show this naye yo ne tutunuulira empapula zino mu original form yazo ne tumanya nti Mwami Joseph Mayanja alina minimum qualifications. Lwaki insinuating ngeyo level twaje era tewandi muise ku vetting singa yali talina biriwa bino tuwandi mu fe tukoze ekyo nekitegeeza okufuna tiketi ya no omulala ave yagambe ndi yakoze ekyenkana ekyafu. So fa mateeka tugamanyi ne processes tuzikola ki tuzimanyi. Amaaso ku lutimbe amaaso kuki ku lutimbe o akugambi omuntu aleeta katemba mu nsonga zino tujja kumutegeeza engeri gy'alina okutambulamu ne katemba we. So amaaso ku lutimbe tuli serious ku revolution, twagala president, omuntu azanyira ku president waffe Kyagulanyi Ssentamu mu ngeri y'akatemba, ndowooza naye mutegedde bwe tumuhandling. Equally omuntu azanyira ku frameworks za revolution yaffe naye mutegedde bwe. Equally omuntu azanyira ku candidate ez'enjawulo Kaabe Local Council 3 agenda kuhandolibwanga bwe kyetaagisa kubanga tetulina muzannyo ku kya revolution. Twakyogedde dda nti okusinziira ku nsi byetegedde ekintu ekyangu ekyokukola nga Honorable Latif bwe yakoze kwe kuvaayo obutamala biseera okulangirira omu yekka asigaddewo Jose Mayanja Chameleon ku bwa ticket ya Lord Mayor Kununtu. Ebisigadde public tuja
seen a response from our young brother Joel Senyonyi. We want to tell the nation that we are not joking. This revolution has taken all our life. For 20 years, 30 years, we are on this revolution. We did not start it yesterday. So, we are known that if you have facts, put them on table. You don't just come with an empty document and say these are the facts. We have all gone through schools. If you have queries with results, they bring back the papers. You either get an external examiner to remark, or you see what happened. Maybe you are given wrong marks. So that is justice. So we are putting it to Mr. Senyonyi that his document is the fake one. If he has the right document, let him put it on table to prove that that is how Mr. Chameleon, Joseph Mayanja scored. We want to see Mr. Joel Senyonyi's version of the scorecard of Mr. Joseph Mayanja Chameleon. And that is what we want. That is what we want. Otherwise, we will not allow. We will not allow anybody to play around with this revolution. If we count the people who have died for this revolution, my friend, it is blood everywhere. We cannot allow somebody to put on a tie and then start joking about around with this revolution. When you make a statement that hurts the presidents,